Oh, hello? Hello, world.
Pardon me.
Uh-oh,
Creating
there
a
we
new
go.
live broadcast. Please
Pardon
wait.
me. Creating the new live broadcast. And away we go. Johnny boys, what's up, my people? We have a lot to get into. It's a dramatic type of weekend, I suppose. Very dramatic. Labor Day weekend. Everybody's losing their minds. It amazes me the amount of people that will put their dirty laundry all over Facebook. It's like it's a thing. It's a thing, and it happens a lot. So, before we get to that, though, we have some other topics because there was the drama. The main drama is I hate it when they do this on me. There we go. So the main drama, it happened within the span of a couple hours amongst two film groups. So I'm in all these random groups on Facebook because it's LA, and every now and then, every blue moon, you'll get a job from one of these Facebook filmmaking groups. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Is anybody out there? And so one of the groups have already completely deleted the entire post, right? And you'll notice this one is still up. So luckily, though, when I saw it, for some reason, I saw it and I thought it was so funny that I screenshotted it. And I'm glad I did, because the other group that I screenshotted, that post is completely gone now. Now, if I would have known, if I would have had my wherewithal about me, or whatever they say, if I would have had my wits about me at the time, or could predict the future, I would have screenshot the whole comment section. Because you notice this one only has 14 comments, but the other one had a lot of comments, and that group deleted it. But before we get to that, the funny thing is I also noticed this one. So this literally was on my Instagram feed today. This all happened within the past 3 days. So since I found this one, I thought this would be a good opener for the main feast. What up, Marlon Cantellano, Nicholas Capers in the house. So this is Kevin Creates. I'm not familiar with Kevin Creates. He's got like 8,000 followers. It looks like he's doing the YouTube thing. He's got the little blue check mark. And I just say that because when you go to his page, he has like reviews and stuff on here, right? So he's doing the deal, you know? But what I noticed is it said, oh wait, let's wait for it to restart. It says, come on. Okay, that's the spoiler. That's the first part. He hasn't paid you, ignores you, unfollows you, untags you, and removes. You land a 4.5-month gig as DP editor, documenting a running coach's run from LA to NYC for heart disease. That's a wild gig. He hasn't paid you, ignores you, unfollows you, untags you, and removes collaborations from all the work you created for him. And did I mention he hasn't paid you? Holy shit. And he looks like he's got the Komodo there. So he says, yeah, so it's all in here. He said, yeah, so it's a thing. What I noticed down here is this guy said, this guy's Ultra Runner Tom, attorney here, Tom Pulaski. I'd be happy to connect you with some powerful attorneys who would love a good pet project, raking this man through the coals. 1,627 likes. Oh, and by the way, Kevin's little post here, it's got nearly 50,000 likes. So this thing is getting the traction. So he definitely, but the crazy thing is like, he didn't throw the dude under the bus. But you know what's funny? I remember seeing this posting in the job forums. I remember reading the thing and I was like, no way, I'm not committing to that. But also I don't submit to a lot of gigs if they're also looking for an editor. I don't want to edit people's shit. I absolutely hate editing. I'll do it like if they put a, you know, if I don't know, I don't edit. So but I do remember seeing that post, but I just can't remember who it's from. But it's interesting that he's saving, you know, he's saving the guy's grace. Although if you know what he looks like, he's putting him all over this story there. What up, Omandru? Indonesia in the house. So I just thought that was interesting that that's going on this summer at the same time that this stuff broke through with this guy named William D'Anthony. Okay, we're gonna get into this. This I don't know why this is so funny to me, but we have two mutual friends here in the LA area. You'll see there. Look, I know people are going to get mad about this or whatever, but you can't be mad about this. You put your dirty laundry on the internet, right? It's in Facebook. These Facebook groups are not private, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, and if they are, then what the fuck, kick me out, right? Either way, like, okay, they're private, quote unquote private, right? Chris Farley, they're private, right? No, they're not, right? Like, as soon as you put something on the internet, that's not private anymore, dude. I don't care what you think. Anything on the internet is never private. So, either way, you know, don't be mad at me. I just find it entertaining. I'm not sticking up for one side or the other. I'm not saying someone's right, someone's wrong. I don't care, because all parties involved sound a little sus to me. That's all I'm gonna say. So let me share this with you guys now, because I remember I told you they deleted it. The one group deleted it when it got really out of hand. So this post is gone. I think so. I can't find it. This is in the Los Angeles film production post, and you'll notice I got it quick. 38 minutes after this person posted this. So this guy down here, he's not the one posting this. The guy making the post is Dante Ruschialelli, and this guy is the guy he's throwing under the bus, right? So I just thought it'd be interesting, right? When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, this will be interesting. And it blew up into craziness. He says, avoid this director DP at all costs. William D'Antoni. I just saw a similar post about him, and it reminded me I never called him out. So what he's saying here is, and this is, and the other group still has it up. So we'll bounce over and look at that one in a minute here, if they're not watching this and deleting it as we speak, right? So maybe we'll go, oh, but I actually did. I went back and I screenshotted this one, but this is the smaller one. Notice this one only has 14 comments. This is the one that got crazy. Anyways, so he noticed that other post as well. So he's like, oh, let me call him out on a different page, which is hilarious. So, like, I don't know if he joined that other conversation or not. We'll have to see in a minute, but it's just so funny to see that post of someone that you like had like a grudge against on one separate group. They're talking shit about that person. Then you go, oh yeah, okay. So he wants to start the wildfire. So he jumps to another group to make his own shit post. You have to love that, dude. Like, rather than joining the current conversation, he starts a whole nother like rally. Anyways, he says he was hired to shoot our comedy specials on 3 cameras and bring 2 other camera operators with him and to edit our specials. Oof, stay away from the ones that want you to edit, man. I swear to God. He says he showed up an hour late by himself and tried running all 3 cameras himself. One was not even on. He was supposed to have them edited within 3 months. At month 5, I went to a house to meet him at noon, and he was just waking up. He told me to wait outside for a half hour while he ate his breakfast. Once inside, he told me he had not even started on the editing. We had to try to find someone else. Other editors mentioned it was going to be very expensive because he had also screwed up the sound. I have the receipts and emails if he tries to deny it. He ruined our project. So this is going on in one group, LA Film Production. Okay, puts this picture on here. By the way, this comment section got gnarly so fast, and I wish I would have known to screenshot this one, because this is the one they deleted. The group deleted it. Jason Morbies, I feel like an attorney would appreciate not naming a name publicly yet. Yeah, it is true, huh? Yeah, it probably kind of helps out, because it seems like once it turns into that, it's just kind of like this like grimy high school thing, you know. And I saw that too. I saw that there was some case that happened where they were like, you know, they were like, it was similar, right? Like hating each other online. It happens all the time. And the judge just threw it out, because he's like, the social media is the place to do this kind of discourse, is basically what the judge was saying. He's like, that is the place for that discourse to happen. I was like, wow, they don't even care, dude, which is actually kind of good. You know, I mean, it really is. Trevor Pinicky, the camera does not need to be on to achieve artistic effect. Yeah, I love that too. The camera wasn't even on. C-cam? Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So, meanwhile, on the other side of Facebook, Film and TV Network Group Los Angeles. Don't you love it, dude? So about 2 weeks ago, I started posting about a short documentary I wanted to produce in time for the 98th Academy Awards short documentary category, which is called LA Skid Row 2025. Just so you know, I'm a screenwriter and nonfiction author with 3 published titles: Audible audiobook, The Success Tune-Up, The Teen Woman's Guide to Life, Love, and Career Success, and Women's Success Guide Kindle book. I also have a comedy feature scheduled for production in 2026, Elise Jenkins, HR Manager from Hell. Okay, hold up, stop. It's like, dude, okay, what is going on here? This post starts out as a huge billboard for themselves. You gotta love that. This is why I said when scammers scam scammers, because this is like, come on, dude. Like, if you really had beef with someone, you don't start the beef with like giving your whole bio. 2 weeks ago, I announced and requested creative support for a short documentary I wanted to produce and submit to the 98th Academy Awards presentation about LA Skid Row 2025. Guys, just so you know, look when this post was made, August 29th. Do you know what the Academy Awards deadline is? So let's just look it up. Academy Awards deadline. Because there was a doc that I was in talks with. Yeah, look, the deadlines are already happening, dude. Documentary feature, documentary short, and live action films. That was all August 14th. August 14th, 2025 for animated short film, documentary feature, documentary short, and live action short films. Okay? She already missed it. You already missed the deadline by like multiple days. It's August 29th. That shit was supposed to be submitted by the 14th. Oh, man. Okay. But I get it, but I understand when she made the post wasn't when they started this, but she says 2 weeks ago, she announced and requested creative support 2 weeks ago. So that's 2 weeks before the 29th. Well, what the hell's 2 weeks before the 29th? That's still only what, like a week to film everything, edit everything, and submit it by the August 14th deadline? This is what I'm saying. This is crazy to me. But unfortunately, I was scammed, lied to, and ripped off by an unscrupulous cinematographer, editor, director, and producer named William Anthony Morales. His real name, IMDb William D. Anthony. And she even linked his Facebook profile. Oh my God. So she gave herself let's see. Let me pull up the calendar and let's see what 2 weeks ahead of August 29th would have been. Let's just get this. Let's see how long she gave herself to work on a documentary short film about LA Skid Row that she intended to submit to the Academy fucking Awards. Let's see how much time she gave herself to shoot and edit and color grade the thing. Okay, so it was 2 weeks prior to the 29th. So that would have been the 15th. She was already a day late to deadline. If she's saying 2 weeks from August 29th, she started submitting request and creative support for a documentary that she wanted to produce and submit when she was already a day late to submit, this shit don't even make sense to me. This is what I'm saying. This is crazy. This is clearly like two people out to like destroy some dude. And that also might make sense of why it's two different people on two separate posts on the same day. It's like, why, or I'm not, sorry, on two separate, not just two separate posts, but two separate groups. Huge Facebook film indie filmmaking groups in LA, right? This is Los Angeles Film Production, and this one is Film and TV Network Group Los Angeles, right? That does kind of seem a little like a hit piece when you really start looking at it. And I think that's ended up what happening on this one, and that's probably why the admins took this one down out of the LA Film Production Group, because it got crazy in this group, like crazy, where basically everyone was started going after the poster, like the original poster that posted it. And this dude came in to defend himself, William, and he had all these screenshots and things, and I think they're in this one that is still up. You notice this one didn't go as crazy. James Cookson finally made it to a live stream on time. Yeah, this one's probably not as fun. We're just looking at drama within the filmmaking society of LA over here. The ultra low budget society filmmakers of Los Angeles. Look, was the camera repair paid for as she stated? Oh yeah, and this is where it gets crazy too. Like the comment section gets out of hand. Like they start talking about camera repairs. Oh yeah, oh that's right, because this is William. This is the guy that they're both on two separate groups accusing of. He says spreading false is defamation. At no point were you scammed. I signed your contract and sent it back to you twice. I asked if you received, and I have not heard from you. So yeah, he's got the text. He's got the receipts in here. And then something happened with the camera. So he's got all the text, all the receipts. He's showing proof of all this stuff. And they were like, they're bickering. They're going back and forth. Who's not signing the contract? So one person would write their own contract, send it in. They wouldn't want to sign it. They would send back their own version of the contract. They didn't want to sign that. They send back their own version. That's what it really started to sound like to me. Like two people not wanting to decide on one contract. So they just kind of kept sending it back to each other revised rather than just like being like, yo, we got to talk about this fucked up contract. You know, it's like, rather than just like talking about it, they just keep sending it back and forth. So he says, but is this shows as a draft? Is this a possibility? It never actually sent to her and you didn't realize it. I don't think it's appropriate she posted here. I wish you both a peaceful resolution. Yeah, so that's really what it came down to. It came down to the fact of the bullshit with the contract, and they just didn't have the balls to just sit down and talk to each other realistically about like, hey, this is the reality of this contract, and this is, and yeah, so you guys go check this out. Sounds like you didn't want to pay. This is not professional. If I was him, I'd sue you for defamation of character. This man has a large list of films that are on platforms. What do you have to your credit? You're the red flag. See, I hate that though. So now they're just like judging the people based upon what their fucking IMDb pages. It's like what, like a piece of shit can't have an IMDb page. You know, like plenty of people. You know what I mean? Like anybody can still exist in the industry. Like there was literally just a huge video that went viral because they exposed some big director that actually is like a horrible human being, but he's like won Emmys and stuff. There's some video. I have to check that out. I forget the name of it, but so I forget the YouTuber's name. His name is Ben or something. Whoa. As an aspiring cinematographer, I take offense to the suggestion that any of us have scruples. We're whores to our art. Definitely untrustworthy. Yeah, the unscrupulous cinematographer. Yeah, that shit was funny, man. Anyone who shared this should be added to the list of being sued. This woman is looking for free work. Oh shit, they're gonna sue me now. Hey, look, you can't sue me. I'm just like, it's all entertainment for us. You have the copy of what you signed. Give this weirdo cheapskate to the Lord. I love that. Give this weirdo cheapskate to the Lord. Karma's coming for Carmen. This lady's over here doing a TV show about this shit. Oh, man. Yeah. So this is exactly what happened on the other group, too. They ended up really going after the poster. But, it still seemed weird to me. So I kind of started digging my own on this William D'Anthony character. Now, look, I don't know anything about him. He's got all these listings: director, producer, cinematographer, gaffer, editor. Over 25 years of filmmaking experience, and he apparently went to the LA Film School. He's got 6,400 followers on Facebook. On Facebook, he's listed as a film director. And because I was just interested, I was like, yo, but now look at this. Look at this when I pull up. This is just by simply searching his name on Facebook. Yo, Jonathan Wu, is that the guy you talked about many streams ago? No, I don't. This is the first I ever heard of this dude. This all happened this weekend. Many streams ago. Maybe someone that scammed me. Oh, no, the person that scammed me was, this was way back when I first started shooting videography. And the first year I was practicing videography, I tried to do weddings. I forget the name of the company. It was something like Ryan. It was something weird. I can't remember. I feel like it was Ryan something. That was a huge scam though. Yeah. So it turns out he wasn't paying any of the photographers or the videographers, but he also wasn't giving the bride and groom any deliverables. So no one knows what he did with all the photos and video. Like, what did he do with all that footage and stuff? No one knows. So he was literally just straight robbing. The crazy thing is, like, why even go to the, like, that's a whole nother level of like psychopath. Like, to know that you're never going to deliver anything, but you still also want to make the photographers and videographers. Well, I guess he has to, right? Because they got to show up on the wedding day. That's probably why he does it, right? Maybe he doesn't get all the money up front. So like he has to hire, quote unquote, videographers and photographers, basically people like me that just fall for it, and then he doesn't pay them, right? Like he hires them, you show up, and then he wasn't even, we do all the work, we drop it to him. Like, and that was a dumb thing. In the beginning, I didn't know, it was like my very first year of like getting work as like a cinematographer, videographer, like doing all the different kinds of work. And, and weddings just fell into that. So of course I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be like a B shooter. Dude, that honestly, I think that may have been what killed the wedding experience for me, because I never did weddings after that. I think I only did 2 total, right? So after the first one, I thought it was weird, but like they happened back to back, like the next day. So like as soon as he hired me, like brought me into the company, right? I go that night. Maybe it was the day before he sent paperwork. But it all happened so quick, right? So I go that day or the next day after he hires me to go shoot a wedding. The very next day, I had another one to go to. It was like over the weekend. So it was 2 back to back. And I just remember thinking like it was a little weird how like, he did send me some bullshit contract or whatever, right? So at least I had that. But like, it was very strange. Like the whole payment thing was just weird. And then I did not like having to dump the footage of the first wedding to him without getting paid. But I was thinking, well, they're back to back. He's probably just going to lump them together. But then I like on the second night which is a different wedding, of course. So on the second night, wouldn't that be funny? You do the same wedding back to back. But the second night, the guy, the ACAM guy, he was the same guy from the previous night. And he was telling me like he's done all these, like when I first get there, he's telling, because I asked him how long he's been with that company, and he made it sound like he had been with them for a minute. Like he had shot a good number of stuff. At least I want to say like at least like 7 jobs with them or something. And then later that night, like when we're wrapping up, he's like, "Yeah, man, I hope this is when we should get paid." And I was like, "You haven't been paid yet?" And he was like, "No." And then that's when I knew. I'm like, "Oh, this is a fucking scam, dude." But that poor guy, he was like on the hook, dude. And he had bought like a brand new camera and shit, or like I think he got his parents to help him buy this brand new camera. It was gnarly. This was like back in like 2017, something like that. And I was just like, "Oh man." And then sure enough, there was a whole group that existed on Facebook that was like basically what ended up happening is a civil action lawsuit got filed against the guy. Like they found the dude because he was also ripping off like all the bride and grooms. And you know why it really sucked? Like why I was most bummed about it? Like not getting paid sucked. But it was like my first year of doing videography work. So I was just like, I guess it was just practice. But anyways, like the biggest pain for me was like, what if that bride and groom see me out in public and remember me? Like, what if, their family members that were there taking photos on their cell phones, whatever, they're like, there's those, because they don't know that dude. They might think we're all connected. And then they're like, there's that little fucking white kid that fucking took all of our shit. Like, I'd be like, oh no, like, like that's scary. It's like these brides and grooms might think that I had something to do with ripping them off of like their lifetime memories, like, oh man. I mean, that is some psychopath stuff to go down that train of like, not even giving them something, like just ripping off everybody. It was just crazy to me. But it was a lot of people involved. And he had been doing it for a long time, like a few years. And he had multiple businesses under different names, just random postings all throughout America. Like he was wild, dude. It was just, I believe it was just a one-man operation too. But no, this is something totally different. Yo, how was the KFC, Justin? I don't know, dude. I don't eat that fake shit, dude. Trevor says there are so many parallels between this annual really bad contractors who just kept taking on jobs and actually have no construction experience. LOL. This is the one where we get paid 7 times the charm. Yeah, exactly. That's what it seemed like. He was like, yeah, I think this, because I guess he was thinking that because it was like a more of like a formal company, or he presented himself as this one man presented himself as a formal company. I guess the other guy was just thinking like he'd get paid every 2 weeks, like a lump sum. I don't know, but I just knew instantly. I'm like, dude, this is fucked, dude. Yo, Ned's in the house. Wait, hold up. Who trying to scam my dog JP? Don't make me hop on a flight out to LA. No, this is a long time ago. This was 2017. Yeah, that's the only time that's the only time I believe that I never received payment. I'm almost positive. So it is a little good. It makes me feel a little good to know that it's like someone that was like a psychopath about it, like doing it to like the whole country, like a lot of people. It was a lot of people. Had KFC today, man. I feel bad. I can't eat KFC. I don't know why. I don't know. I can't eat it. So anyways, I did some little digging on this guy, and this is a post from September 28th. Now, there's nothing bad. I didn't find anything bad. I was just kind of, there's there's stuff out here about him already. To all my production and acting family, I want to warn you about a production that is currently filming in Los Angeles. Okay, so this is why I wanted to keep all this, right? So it's just weird to me. It's like, okay, so what was this, like 4 years ago? 4 years ago, almost to the day. This guy is like throwing production company under the bus. Okay, let's keep going. The title is Ginger, being produced by a highly unprofessional company. They're lying about their film being SAG signatory. If you are presently working on this as an actor and you are SAG, please contact SAG immediately. If you are a crew, I would suggest walking away because there may be a chance you won't get paid. They're also violating COVID protocols and labor laws. Okay, I don't understand the correlation between being SAG and the crew not getting paid. SAG doesn't represent crew. You all know that. SAG is only representing actors. So I don't understand why he's saying that they're not going to get paid just because it's not like a SAG signatory short. By the way, guys, to get your project SAG is really, really hard. They make it nearly impossible for you. They make you jump through so many loops. They make you fill out so much paperwork. It's very expensive. You have to have permits for every location. Having your production SAG takes a lot of effort and work. And so it's not, there's like thousands of things that get done here that you see on television every day that is not SAG, right? Like, but I can guarantee you the majority of those projects, certainly if they were on the TV, the crew 100% was represented by their local 600, right? Because they're not synonymous, right? A production can be union on the crew side and be non-union on the actor side. That's a real thing that happens all the time. They're not the same. They're not under the same umbrella, right? SAG isn't even a real union. I said that in my most recent video, the what's your budget video. SAG's not a union. They're not a union. That's why they're very careful at calling themselves a guild, because they're not a union, right? So that's a lot that has to do with it as well. And so to make this correlation between SAG and the crew not getting paid, that's weird to me. But anyways, I just think it's funny that this guy 4 years ago is throwing this company under the bus, and then meanwhile, 4 years later, it all comes back to bite him in the ass, right? So maybe he burned some people on this fucking Ginger movie. Maybe he fucked up their day. Maybe they felt forced to go get SAG, which is very expensive and very timely and very costly. And maybe people that were attached to that Ginger production that he don't know about came back to get him and bite him in the ass on Labor Day weekend in 2 separate film groups and just throw him under the bus, You never know, man. Yo, what's Lonely Wrist? What's the best way to turn in a career in camera department? I know working your way up, but it seems like just getting that opportunity is a bit challenging because it's so competitive. Yeah, so what market are you in, Lonely Wrist? Because I think it really does come down to what your market is, like in terms of what city you're in, what state and city you're in. Because here in LA, you can just start submitting for cinematography work. Just whatever you see, wherever you find it, just submit. Because yeah, it's true. Like LA is the Super Bowl of the filmmaking community. I've said that from day one. It really is. But also, that doesn't mean shit. There is a music video being filmed on every street corner. Just throw a rock. Like just go to the beach and hang out. You'll find someone that wants to shoot something. Like you're good. Like that's all you got to do here. You just start shooting. That's all you have to do here, because plenty of stuff to shoot. It just depends, like, if you want to accept the project or not, and also like how much, like what are you willing to work for? Because a lot of the things, again, this is what my most recent video talks about. Maybe go check it out. Full length video here on YouTube. It's called "Why Some Cinematographers Work for Free." Because it's a reality of the narrative world. But you can still get paid. You can still be submitting yourself for corporate work, industrial work. It's all there. But again, it's this market. We're overly saturated with just tons of fucking projects going on. It's just like it's a gamble. You just throw your number in the hat and you just keep going on. But if you're in a smaller market, I don't know. I would still operate the same. I would still be like figuring out. That's why I'm in all these stupid film groups on Facebook, because randomly they do post. They are looking for DPs, right? They'll probably never reach out to me now that I'm fucking exposing their drama. But that's all it is. It's just drama. It's funny. They know it's funny. That's why the other group deleted it, right? This shit's hilarious. But that's the only reason I'm in all the groups, right? Because they're looking for DPs. It sounds like maybe they want to like scam them. No, I'm joking. But that's what I would do. Just submit everything. Like, who cares? And maybe in the very beginning, you're going to have to go shoot some of your own stuff anyways to get a little reel going. Or, you got to know someone that's a mechanic or something, or, somebody that does something with their hands, or, a dancer or someone. You can just go shoot someone doing something exciting, so you have something with a little bit of movement and you can shoot it a little dramatic. You got to kind of start shooting your own bullshit and just put it on a little website and make it look like you know what the fuck you're doing. And then just start fucking submitting your shit everywhere. But if you want to do it the right way and go, come out to Hollywood and go, okay, if you want to do like you know, some people it works. Jimmy Grove, my homie Jimmy, he was my cinematographer for the Wotancraft thing where I was riding the bicycle. I've known him for a long time out here. And he was I met him because he was my first AC on the For Love of God pilot. If you guys are familiar with that, that's a big pilot that I shot in 2021 with the red Komodo. But anyways, he just started as a PA. You know, it's pretty simple to get a job as, I don't want to say simple, but it is a little easy to become a PA on a big show here in Los Angeles. And if you have the cojones and you're okay with like being the last one to leave every day, and you're okay with being the first one there every day, you know, you're that dude. If someone tells you to do something, regardless of what it is, and you're just okay with doing that, and you know you got to go run around and get stuff, and you know you're like an assistant to everybody almost. You know, if you can handle that for long enough, and you are good at talking to people, and you're good at showing people that you're like serious about a career in the film world, you know, you start expressing interest in that. You kind of start getting to know the other people on set, you know, like whatever department you want to be in. So if you want to work in the camera department, you know, you kind of start at the bottom of that totem pole. You know, you kind of start talking to their loader, talking to the second AC, right? Then before you know it, you get to be friends with them, and then maybe then talking to the first ace, and then before you know it, maybe you're sitting at the table with them during lunch or whatever. You know, and either way, I'm just saying that's kind of how I'm not saying that's how it works, but that is how it could work, because I know that's how it has worked with people that I know here in Los Angeles, right? And then I'm not saying this is how it worked with Jimmy, but he's not the only guy I know here that's, you know, working on real sets, you know, obviously. But I mean, he is now, you know, he was a PA at one time on This Is Us, and now he's working well, now he's actually working towards being a Steadicam operator. But what he is getting paid for is to be a loader now. So he went from being a PA to nothing to do with the camera department, and now he's a loader, which is basically like, you know, like the media manager, like does media management, offloading and stuff, DMT, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, yeah, I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but again, I don't know, like me, I'm the type of dude where I'm like, I can't go. I don't know. I'm not the type of personality. I don't know if you guys notice that, but not every personality is ready to be a PA. You know what I mean? It takes a certain type of personality. And I do think that is why it makes sense for younger people to do it. Like, I feel like at a certain age you hit, and I feel like for me, that age would have probably been like 16. But for a normal person, I feel like the age would be 25. For a normal person, when you hit the age 25, I feel like you're done kind of taking a bunch of orders. I hate to say that, but like that is kind of what you have to do. And I think like younger people are just good at that, like because they're eager and they're like, yeah. But then like something happens when you like hit like that mid-20s range where you're like, man, I got to be doing something else. So hopefully by that point, you've already kind of moved up the ladder or whatever. But most PAs aren't trying to do what Jimmy did anyways. Like most PAs, they actually want to be like line producers or like producers, or at least like first ADs. Like they want to be something on that side of it. So that makes sense for a lot of PAs. That is what they're doing. For Jimmy, he is kind of special in that way, how, you know, but he, you know, he expressed interest to the camera department. He became friends with them. You know, that's just what he did. So it is possible to do. There's so many different ways. I mean, but I don't know. If you're just a guy out there that's always shooting, you're just always shooting. You get known for being someone in your community that's like, oh, like this dude I know about calls himself Lonely Wrist. Yeah, he's shooting stuff. Like, look what he just did. You know, and this is why you have to kind of, you know, really lean on social media a little bit, you know, like whatever one works for you, because not every account is going to work well for you. Like for some reason, Instagram works really well for me in terms of like being a billboard for my work, right? But a lot of people, it could be something else like TikTok or YouTube even. But for me, it's just kind of Instagram has always been the one where people reach out, or it's just a quicker thing to show. Like, yeah, like even when I was at a barber shop a few months ago, it's been a minute now, I got to get back in there, but I was at a barber shop, one I'd never been to, and I was just showing the dude the work. And anybody asks, I always just pull up my Instagram. It's just like the easiest way. So like I'm just saying, like if you start having your stuff already out there, like a little library, like a little archive, because you don't even really need a website anymore. You don't. I mean, it helps you look more legit, dare I say, maybe professional, whatever. Some people believe in that. I don't know. I feel like maybe you don't even need a website anymore, but I guess it's just nice to have as like a simple thing, like a tag in an email or something. But all I'm saying is you need something out there where people can see your work immediately, because, everything right now works in immediacy mode. It just does, so you need something immediate. That's why when I'm out and about, my fucking, I don't know if you can see this, but my let me lower my brightness. Literally the wallpaper on my phone is my fucking Instagram QR code. So when I'm out walking around, because I go everywhere with my camera. I go everywhere with the camera. I'm always shooting shit, and there have been multiple times where, especially in downtown LA, even here in my hometown neighborhood where I live in Southern California, like I've been hit up multiple times when people just come up to me and start talking to me, and then those people want me to shoot something for them. It always happens because I always have my camera in my hands. And so what I started doing is I started keeping the QR code for my Instagram, if I know how to work it. Now I am going in grandpa mode here. Hold on. So I keep this on my phone. I was trying to make it so you could see it. You get the point though. They scan it instantly. Either way, I'm just saying, like, you become someone that's known for shooting stuff. You become someone that's known for being a camera guy, right? And that is one way where you end up getting a lot of work, because I just do. The majority of the stuff that I do nowadays, I would say like 85% of it comes from people that I know. Someone hit me up going, yo, whatever, I got this, or my buddy's got this. Yo, can I give them your info? Yada, you know how it goes, right? This is just like anything else, like you're a business now, right? So like, do you want to like do what you're saying and go try to work your way up the, dare I say, corporate ladder, right? Yeah, you're going to get paid way more, but I think it's going to take you way longer, and it may not be as exciting as, oh shit, have I been clipping all night on the audio? No, we're good. I got scared on the audio there. I got thrown when I saw the audio was peaking a little bit there, but anyways, yeah, it's just like anything else. You're a business now, so you gotta create a little billboard for yourself. You gotta let people know what you're doing. We were talking about if you want to go the the quote unquote corporate route. If you wanted to go the Hollywood route and work your way up. I don't know. It really comes down to like all the DPs that, or not just DPs, just everybody in general. Like, I shouldn't say that either, but it does seem like a lot of interviews that I listen to, there is a fair amount that did work their way up, but there's also a fair amount where they just kind of weaseled their way in, or got noticed or recognized from just being out there shooting something, like a lot of the ones that I'm a big fan of, like Deacons, he started out just shooting really run and gun documentaries, and from there went to music videos, and that, like, how it goes. It's just, and even, like the guy that shoots all Kendrick's videos, and he did Last Black Man in San Francisco. I can never remember his name, but he's some of the best work that I've seen. And he's kind of the same way, like he just started shooting stuff. You're running your own business. You're gonna be paid on a W-9 regardless. So you just gotta kind of start thinking of ways like how businesses get work, how businesses get noticed. What do you got to do? You got to put in the work. And that's why they always say, like, the first year of running a business is the worst year, because the very first year of starting a business up, you lose so much money. Even think of a coffee shop. If you have to open up a coffee shop, oh man, you got to spend all this money on advertising. You got to buy all the stuff for the kitchen, all the shit, the utensils, and like just all the stuff that you got to have just to have the shop, let alone to maintain it and keep it going, But a lot of people forget, like, just because we're a guy with a camera, people forget, like, well, we're still that coffee shop, like, I don't know. That's just how my brain works. I've always just viewed that as like, I'm a business dude, but also it just comes from my family. I come from a family of like little miniature entrepreneurs, kind of, they're all like, they all have their own little businesses. Like my cousin has his own concrete business. My uncle has his own roofing business. My other uncle has his own salvage yard. Like they all have their own little businesses. That's just the way I grew up. People around me where I'm like, oh, this is the way to do it. Like you just kind of create your own work. You be your own boss. That's just kind of how I was raised by the male figures in my life, So maybe that's why I am like that too, where I could never fathom having to like clock in and wear a uniform with a name tag. Like I've never actually been able to do that. So lucky for me, I was able to, do the acting thing early on and start working that route and do like all the weird freelance shit that comes with that, So you got you know that's another thing too. You always got to have like a lifeline on the side. You know, there's always a lifeline on the side, and most of them do have shit. Even the big ones, you know, like I don't know if you guys follow Patrick O'Sullivan. Shout out to the Wandering DP, but I don't know if they still do. But at one time, him and his wife ran a coffee shop while he was doing commercial cinematography. So even him, you know, like everyone, you know, everyone understands that. Like once you spend any time doing any kind of freelance, you know that like, well, this freelance thing can't be the only thing going for me until you start just knocking it out of the park, you know, until it is, right? Until it is. But when it first is starting up, it's going to be really hard for you to just like, unless you have a big savings, it's going to be really hard for you to just abandon everything and just only focus on that. You'd have to have someone supporting you, or you had a huge savings to get you through that first year, maybe even that first 2 years, you know, but hopefully it's just the first year that you can get through it, recoup, you know, because the first couple years you're going to be spending so much money on gear and shit. But if you do it the smart way and you try to avoid buying the gear, you just work it out where the productions have to rent it. But in the beginning, it's going to be hard for you to do kind of like present your own stuff, because then you're going to have to rent gear even to make your own stuff. So, you know, I don't know. Either way, it's like a business. You're going to have to eventually like invest some money into it. But if you're doing it right, you know, if you're an S-Corps, like you should be, you can write it off anyways. You can write it all off. I don't know. I know that was a big rabbit hole, but I think that is an important topic. So I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for bringing that up. Lonely Risk, gung ho, second time getting it in my life. R.I.P. me. Had KFC today, second time in your life having KFC. Yeah, you're gonna be hurting on that, boy. Statute of limitations on whoop ass don't expire, JP. Just say the word. I can't even remember the name of the guy, the company. It was Ryan something. Gotta love it when that net 30 becomes a net 60, only to finally get paid 90 days later. Well, yeah, this is how I had a falling out. I lost a long time running corporate client of mine. That they were more like a broker. So I had like this broker here in LA. I don't know if that's the right word even. I just call it a broker. I don't know what else to call it. But they would send me corporate jobs because their office was not here in Los Angeles. And they would just kind of like, they were like an umbrella over America, and they had their little list of DPs in each major city. And I was one of the ones for Orange County and LA for this particular company, right? I had been working for them for years, since my GH5 days. So now you're going back to like, when did I buy the GH5? Like in 2018, something like that. So I've been working with them almost since the beginning. And then doing a lot of big corporate jobs, a lot of big clients, Hewlett Packard, Bisco Industries, a lot of big companies, a lot of big jobs I did with them, UCLA, big stuff, right? And then last year, they had changed kind of the way they started doing things. They kind of always did take like 3 weeks to pay, but they were a legit corporation. You know, I'd vetted them out before I even started working with them, been with them for a long time. And then last year, things got tricky last summer, and they tricked over to a definite net 30, right? It was a whole new contract, and I was like, oh wow, this is new. You know, I'd been with them for what, like, I don't know how many years, since 2018. I suck at math, guys. Clearly, I just can't. My brain can't think of that much at once, right? I'm a little slow. So, anyways, and then so I said, okay, wow, they're changing to net 30. All right, so we'll see how it goes. And so I did a couple jobs for them, and that's what did it. That's what broke the camel's back, because 30 days went by, and still no payment. So then I had to start emailing them, because that's what I do. I start emailing immediately. Once it goes past that 30-day mark, well, now you've broken your own contract. You know, that's the shit I don't understand. It's like, you've made this contract, and you know I signed this and dated this. Why would you ever go back on your own contract when it's all like, this is the way you wanted it? And you're a corporation. So I'm going to hold them to it because it's legally binding, right? So I start emailing them immediately. Hey, you're a day late. By the second day, no response, by the way. No response. And this isn't just someone. This is someone I've been working with since 2018, right? We're 2024 now. It's been a minute, right? So I say, okay, hey, no response. That's okay. Just so you know, if it's going to continue like this for every 24 hours that goes beyond, I'm going to have a late fee, right? So this went on. This went on for like 6 or 7 days. And then finally they came back with some bullshit about, it didn't matter. It was all bullshit to me. I can't hear you anymore. right? Whatever you try to say to me, I'm no longer listening to you. You know, you are now 7 days beyond what you had legally binded up for me to sign. And it's a contract, right? Your contract. And now you're 7 days late on your contract. I can't hear you anymore. I don't hear anything you're saying. All I want to do is see the money in my bank account, right? So it was a big deal to me. And it was mainly just on principle. It's principle. And I let him know that too, because this was last summer was even worse than this summer. It really was. And honestly, though, maybe that's not true. I think like maybe nationally this summer is worse than last summer. But for me, last summer was worse than this summer in terms of financial situations. But that's not even what it was about. For me, it was the principle. You guys know I care about this shit a lot. Like the principle of the matter matters to me. And so, you know, I just let them know, like, you can't do this to freelancers in this current economy. It's just not fair. You're already making them wait 30 days. And this is your contract. So this is your idea. So then to turn that 30 days into 36, 37 days, that is completely unacceptable, right? It just is. It's just the reality of it. I just told them how it was. And then on top of that, they switched over with a new payment plan, so not only like they had a middleman to pay me, that ended up, so now the money was over a week late. And then on top of that, I had to pay a fee to get my money that was over a week late. So then I let them know I was pissed off about that. Now, the nice thing is they still paid that fee that I was pissed about, but I never heard from them again. And I didn't expect to. But the reality is, it's like, man, in my head, they're the ones that burned that bridge. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, we've been together since 2018 to 2024, right? And people would say, well, man, I don't know. I don't know if I would have done that. It's like, I don't know. Because that's just the first thing that, you know, that's like the first time daddy hits mommy, right? That's the first time it happens. And everyone's like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. But the reality is, you think that's the last time daddy's going to hit mommy? Fuck no. Fuck no. And I know this for a fact. My dad was a wife beater, right? We know this shit, dude. As soon as one bad thing happens like that, to that scale, it's like, nah, dude. Nah. That shit's going to keep happening. And maybe it gets worse, right? I'm that type of dude, right? So that's why I don't like to put up with bullshit. Yeah, so long-winded thing there talking about net 30s, net 60s, net 90s. Local 600 wouldn't have that ish. They would shut them down ASAP. What are you talking about? This thing over here? What are you talking about? This guy over here, LA Skid Row? Or which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the corporate thing? Yeah, well, we don't have local six. You know, all the corporate things, they're really good at like avoiding their shit becoming union, you know, which is funny because they have the most money. Las Vegas. Okay. All the production companies seem to be like really lame here too. Yo, Lonely Wrist, you're in Vegas, so you should look out for, there's a big YouTuber out there in Vegas. Fuck, I can't remember his name. Machado, Rob Machado. You should hit up Rob Machado. Just be like, yo, bro, like, you know, just hit him up. I mean, he's all over YouTube. He's on Instagram. He has beautiful work. I'm pretty sure he's got his own production company. It's not lame. It doesn't appear to be lame anyways. I don't know. I don't even know. It might even be called Machado Productions. I don't know what he calls himself, but he's a cool dude. And actually, my buddy Jimmy that I was just talking about that, you know, worked his way up to being a utility guy. He knows Machado because they used to live out in Vegas. So yeah, man, hit him up and just see if he's got any, if he needs some help, you know, like, what do you need? Like, you know, I'll be like PA or, you know, just whatever you can do to like start getting on his sets. You know, maybe he's looking for like a grip or something. Being a grip, super easy. All you gotta do is learn how to set a C-stand. You can learn being a grip in a matter of a day. You know, if you really want to learn how to do it, like, you know, a basic grip, you know, you could do it. You know, it's not hard to start learning that kind of stuff. You know, if you wanted to start seeing who's out in your place, you know. But the trick there is don't keep working as a grip, you know, because that's not what you want to do. You're just doing that to like kind of start meeting people in the thing, but don't, you know, just grip that one job. Let them, you know, like that's fine. Like get to know everybody, but then like, you know, like don't like keep gripping because you don't want to get stuck doing that either. You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure that you're on the right path for what you want to do, you know. Now the flip side of that is don't go there being a grip and be like, well, just so you know, I shoot too, and start handing out your business cards to everybody. Like you don't want to do that. You just want to be like, yo, I just wanted to get on set and like meet everybody and stuff and, you know, see what's going on, you know, like, you know, and then you know people, and then maybe on the next one they bring you back as a first AC or something. You know, you never know, and it's not always going to be that DP that might bring you back. If everybody there knows you now, you know, who knows who'll hit you up, you know, maybe the VFX guy or something. You don't know. It happens all the time. Yo, I love your reactions to my pointless comments, and thank you for going live today. You're welcome, Stuart. Yo, I try to react to everybody's comment. I mean, this channel's small enough we can do that. Yo, do some BTS stuff. Do some BTS stuff right now, or what do you mean? You want me to do BTS work, or you want me to share BTS stuff? I think I'm boring Trevor. Yo, I worked in broadcasting, which isn't as fun. Here they are looking for ops for all these live events, but that seems to be the extent of the industry here. Oh, live events. They're not doing music videos out there in Vegas, man. I find that hard to believe, man. You know what? We shot in Vegas. This is one of the first projects I did too. So this would have been back in like 2018. I shot a project for Julia Fox, believe it or not. This was before Uncut Gems came out, but she had just got done filming it, I believe. And I didn't believe her that she was in it. She was just, she had just hired me to shoot this, but we were shooting in, we shot a little bit in Vegas. Yeah. I think they're doing stuff in Vegas. You know, I mean, we were doing that short film there. Like, I'm sure they're doing stuff in Vegas. I would imagine music videos at least. Why 16? Oh, oh, just because, like, I think I was poisoned as an infant, like just be very defiant and not want to have a boss ever. You know what I mean? I think most people don't have those feelings until they're like in their mid-20s, like of being like, nah, I'm done with this. Like I had it immediately because, where I come from, like 15, like you're not allowed to legally work until you're like 15. So you do that for a year. And I was just like, this blows, dude. I gotta make my own money, man. Well, in your mid-20s, you start getting really bills and those student loans start getting real heavy. Everything, bro. Oh my God, dude. PA is one of those industry stepping stones where you're a fly on the wall and can see and interact with all departments, which like JP said, if you're a go-getter and can be okay being a gopher, yeah, I'm at that stage. I started reaching out to local businesses, beer brewers, yeah, that's a good one, man. Start out with that stuff. And there's so many little companies. There's always little companies doing stuff. And sometimes they even put ads out. You'll see some ads from those little companies. Just go do it. Who cares? I also suggest doing some stuff for local churches and local schools. Yeah, you could do that. The only thing is like, I'd be nervous about, now me in particular, I would be nervous about churches because I would be like, yo, like church, I don't know. I would just be nervous about it because, I don't know, unless it's a church you go to, right? I don't need to get all political and shit. Appreciate all the constructive feedback, guys. I love the side of the YouTube community. There's sides that tear you down and others that build you up. You guys are dope. I also definitely try to watch every vid. Yeah, Lonely Wrist. That's cool, dude. Thanks, man. Stay hungry, stay humble. That's how you crush it. The Lorax. Oh, look out, guys. Lorax is here. He says he has tons of gear. I threw my money against the wall already. Damn. What up? Bad karma. Bad karma. 7 years. Yeah, I guess so. 7 years. That's how long I was with them before I burnt that bridge down. The Faustian man. I used to tell mommy to get up. It's not even round 2. Damn. That's hilarious, bro. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Stone Fisted. He said, I put strict penalties on late payments, and I also put that the client pays all fees incurred by collections. 100%. That's how you do it, bro. That's the dog times way. Disney always paid late. Always. Yeah, I heard about that from the Beyonce Lemonade music video. I heard they got paid late on a net 90 with Beyonce Lemonade. Yo, Corey Embring, one of my biggest clients, always takes 3 months to cut me a check, even though in their contract with me they state net 30. See, I can't live with that, bro. I mean, the money must be really, really good, dude. And I understand it probably is, but me though, I just like, I'm the type of dude, I have to say something. I have to say something because like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's because I grew up a little rough or whatever, but it's like, don't fuck with my money. Like I have a code, it's like, I don't care. You could talk shit about me. You can do whatever, but just like, don't fuck with my money. I've always been like that. It's like when people start fucking with my money, I just get a little weird, But it's all in like how you're brought up and shit. I think the local 600 was way before your rabbit hole. LOL about the dude trying to have the crew walk. Yeah, right. Yeah. Machado Visuals. That's what it's called. Machado Visuals. Yeah, dude. He's in Vegas. Pro tip: if you grip, bring your own sandbags. Really, dude? I've never heard that. Your own sandbags. While I was reading it, I thought it was gonna say tool belt or something or like gloves. It said, bring your own sandbags. No, dude, I don't know about that. Really? That would be boss. That would be boss if you show up with sandbags. Shit, I've never heard that before. Today is it? Oh shit, it's Bad Karma's 52nd birthday. Happy birthday, brother. I hope it's a good one, man. Be safe. Yo, why does Robert Machado sound so familiar? He was YouTube famous like 15 years ago? I don't know. I don't think so. He's getting YouTube famous now. He was on the tier list. He's moving up the line now. Like he's got some nice stuff on Instagram. If they are, then I don't know about it. They pay me late or don't pay me one time and that bridge is permanently burned. They want me to show up on time, do my job. They better have that pay on time. Yeah, that's how I feel too, Lorax. 100%, dude. 100%. Speaking of which, okay, so you get the idea now. This guy, you know, here he was 2 days. No, that was the same one. Okay. Anyways, we get it. You know, people are just out to get each other. It is what it is. You know, it's like, look, I get it. Like everybody, you know, someone got burned bad. They want to come back and burn you back. It's fine. But it's like, why do we put this shit online, dude? It's crazy to me. But speaking about getting paid, I noticed this and I'm like, damn, is this real? But it does say KCAL CBS News 22 TV and film productions returned to California after a new tax credit expansion. Look at this shit. Nearly 24 major film and TV projects will return to California after state officials expanded the tax credit program almost 2 months ago. In total, 22 productions received the first round of tax breaks under the historic expansion of the program, which increased the cap from $330 million to $750 million. The California Film Commission said these projects will receive a combined $256 million and are expected to generate $1.1 billion in economic activity. Look, Eaten by Flowers laughing. Yo, do you guys know who Eaten by Flowers is? Holy shit, that's hilarious. He's actually he's like Instagram famous photographer. Yo, happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, Bad Karma. Man, this is wild though. Nearly 24 major film and TV projects will return to LA. They expanded the tax credit from 330 to 750 million. Well, I don't know, man. It's not really feeling like it though. It's not really feeling like it. I was gonna pull up and see like how many jobs are in production here in LA and see like we can look at pre-production or in development. Maybe we should go with in development. I think we can search both actually though. We can search both in development and at one time we used to be able to search both. Let me see. Oh, maybe not. There used to be a time we could search for pre-production and in development. But also we want to stick to LA. So somewhere in here we can go to we can change country of origin to the United States. I just want to see like if there's any truth to that statement from KCAL News. It's like, are there really 22 productions? Like, is that really going down? And I mean, this will have it on there because, you know, this is where they source all their news and shit. We can't get down to like, this is totally different now. The way they have this search bar set up is completely different than how it used to be. Like you used to have a drop-down menu where you could literally go straight to LA immediately. It's not in here no more. So now you just have to type it yourself, I guess. You got to just put it in here yourself. Los Angeles. Legend of Zelda? Say what? All right, let's see what they got going on. Legend of Zelda. That's crazy. Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Red Notice 2. Untitled Adam Sandler Safdie Brothers. That's with Netflix. So they got that deal going Netflix. A new Adam Sandler Safdie Brothers movie. So it'll be like something crazy again, like Uncut Gems or something. They still gonna have to drive all the way up to Woodland Hills to get their Panavision gear since they closed shop in Hollywood. That's how you know it's hard times. Yeah, Panavision closed down. Yeah, dude, Wood and Nickel is gone. So much stuff shutting down, dude. The Last Photograph, that's a new Zack Snyder movie. Taika Waititi, an untitled Taika Waititi Star Wars film. Look at this, a new Ryan Coogler movie called The Wrong Answer. Alien Eradication. Chippendales. Oh shit, that's probably a documentary. Yeah, it's a biography. They're doing a documentary on Chippendales. That's gonna be hilarious, dude. Splash. That's a Ron Howard movie. Monty Clift, they're doing a documentary on Monty Clift, or a biopic on Monty Clift. Dang, I wonder if they know who's going to play Monty Clift. Damn it. Now I lost it. Let me see if we can pull this up in a new tab. Let's see if they got that cast yet. Matt Bomer? Matt Bomer? I don't know who that is. I guess he's going to play Monty Clift. Yeah, they do have a lot of shit. Untitled Chris Rock project. That's the A24 movie. Oh, shit. That's already out. Isn't that already out? Or no, there's a biopic. They're doing a documentary biopic on Chris Rock. A24 is. Campfire. Journey to Utopia. A Momentary Lapse of Reason. Wait, did they already do these movies? Or are these like remakes or something? I'm so confused right now. Is this not still like in development? Announced. Some of these could be like reboots or like, you know, like reissues. Because A Momentary Lapse of Reason, I'm almost positive that's been out for a while, dude. The Dead Don't Lie. Yeah, this is a lot of shit, man. So, hey, maybe. You want to know why I'm kind of excited about it? Because like the more like productions, big productions that happen here, all the smaller work, like the indie stuff and the corporate stuff, that will go back to us little guys. Because that's what happens, you know, like unless you're like huge, you do kind of have to start doing the smaller gigs, like the commercial work and stuff. Like they not that the commercials are smaller, but it just depends like what level of, you know, like if you're in the ASC, obviously this, what I'm saying doesn't apply to them, right? But like not everybody shooting shit in LA is in the ASC. Not everybody shooting shit in LA has like amazing representation, or let alone like the amazing work, like the archive to like keep getting amazing shit even when production's not here, you know? So what do those people have to do? Well, they kind of like start nabbing up all the smaller shit going on, like the music videos and just whatever's going on, you know? Like they're hungry too. Like they got to eat, they got to keep going. I mean, granted, most of the guys in 600, they do have like, you know, the unemployment payment thing, but sometimes they don't want to use that up. And sometimes it goes so long that gets dried up, depending on how much time you had built up. You know, you only can get the unemployment for so long. It's dependent on however long your last streak was. And when you're talking going from movie to movie, sometimes there's gaps in between. We already used up some of those unemployment weeks, you know? So like it can be a little tricky, you know, even if you are represented by the union. So a lot of those guys, they got to kind of go back and start doing some of the work they used to do when they were kind of, you know, not so hip and cool at the bigger scene, you know? That's how it goes, you know? So I'm like, hell yeah, those guys will get these big jobs again and kind of clear the space a little bit for us smaller guys. At least Paramount decided they're going back to theater releases and not direct to streaming anymore. That will save some jobs. Yeah, I think South Park probably giving them a little bit of a rebirth over there right now. If you follow any of that going on. Oh, man. Yeah, man. So this was kind of an interesting topic. You know, we talked a little bit of drama, but it was really just about like, this was almost like a sidecar to the video that I put out this week. And I didn't really do that on purpose. You know, I had some other stuff lined up that I wanted for us to do, but it didn't really pan out. I've been trying to get this company to send me some login stuff so we could kind of like, there's like some software that exists out there and I wanted to experience it first time live. I just think that would be fun. But maybe the company's a little nervous of that. I mean, I get it. You know, it's like, yo, the hard take. Directors won't hire me as a cinematographer because I'm also a director. I, however, would never cross that line, but it screwed me on gap money. Yeah. Oh, right. Because they see like you're mainly a director. And they're like, why is this guy? Yeah, you got to have like separate profiles for everything you do. You know, and that kind of sucks because then that means like you got to have like multiple Instagram accounts, multiple websites. Like, yeah, it definitely blows. It definitely blows. But if you're already established and known for something, you are pegged that forever. That's why I was telling the guy earlier, like, don't keep working as a grip if you don't want to, you know, be a key grip or a best boy or a gaffer or something. Like, get out of there, you know, like get out of there immediately. Like, you know, but just like, just get on set at first to start meeting people, but don't get stuck on a track where you don't belong, you know, because people will forever know you as that. It's just how it is. You know, there's producers that still to this day, it's hard for me to convince them that I shoot because they just don't know me as that because they originally hired me as a gaffer, you know, because I gaffed some pretty decent projects. And so like, because of that, like they will always see me as a gaffer. every now and then, even, there's been times where I've like camera opt for them or whatever, but it is hard for people to just rewire their brains like that. It's like they know you as that. They've worked with you multiple times as that. Now that's what you are to them. It's not anybody's fault. If anything, it's our fault for like keep doing it, right? That's why eventually, like, the best thing that ever happened to me was like, honestly, like, it was funny. Like, when I got robbed, I'm like, because the garage got broken into, all my lights got stolen. This was like when we lived in Glendale. This was like last year. Was this last year or the year before? I don't know when it was. It was like 23, 24. But yeah, the garage got broken into, all the lights got jacked. And I was like super mad, but then I was like, I don't know. It's kind of cool though at the same time, because like I don't want to gaff anyways. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be a gaffer. I didn't want all these lights. Like, all that just kind of snowballed, you know? I mean, insurance did end up reimbursing it. So we ended up with a bunch of lights again, but at least like it was the tipping point that I needed to like sell that van. I sold that van and just kind of like reset and regroup and kind of just let everyone know, like, because I would continue to get hit up with jobs. It was hard at the time too to like turn down work like that, because like I had a really nice day rate as a gaffer. That's one of the nice things about being a gaffer. Like, you have a really nice day rate because, again, like kind of what I was saying in my recent video, like, the gaffer's not getting as much accolades, even though they are technically above the line. They're not getting all the accolades the DP does, right? So the gaffer is going to get a pretty decent rate on top of the fact that he's bringing a van full of shit, so like it's decent pay. So it is hard to turn down, but I knew I had to cut that leg off, like I had to do it. It was the only way, it was the only way to just be done and let people know, like, yeah, I'm not really gaffing anymore. I don't want to focus on that at all anymore. Like, I just didn't want the extra energy going to that anymore. And yeah, that kind of, we did take a hit on that because, it's like, well, that's like all that money now that's not coming in, but it just had to be done, I guess, like for my psyche and stuff. And like, it is what it is. Like, it's just one of those things, but I'm just saying, you got to stay on the track that you want to do, right? You don't want to be known for something that if it doesn't fit right with you, it doesn't feel right to you. Don't just stay there because of the money, just don't do it. You don't have to, you don't have to do that, it's going to suck, but like, it's a roller coaster. You're going to go back up. You're always going to go back up. That's just how the industry is. I'm telling you, as someone that's worked in the entertainment business since I was 18 years old, I'm fucking 41 now. All you know is a roller coaster, and it does suck. It still sucks. Like, when it's down, it's down. Like, it's down, bro. And you're like, oh, fuck, we're going down. But you already know how this shit goes. It's eventually going to start climbing back up. It does. It just does. It always does. So you gotta keep that in mind too. So just know when when the roller coaster is going down, kind of sit on that nest egg a little bit, kind of pace yourself, start thinking like, is there any passion projects I wanted to do? Is there like any is anybody that I know that wanted to shoot something right now? That's when you can kind of focus on like really your own art, really, and use that time wisely. And don't go wild with the money. You know what I mean? Don't be like, oh, now I can get that lens that I wanted or whatever. It's like, nah, you don't need it, dude. Especially if you're not working, right? You don't need it. You don't need that shit. Just kind of sit around and think of creative ways that you can do with your downtime and just wade that shit out. Just sit on your nest egg, dude, because eventually it's going to start going back up again. Directing a film takes forever. Yeah, no shit. Oh, damn. I used to live on Lake Avenue in Pasadena. I'm out in Ireland the last 8 years. Pasadena. Nice, bro. Nice. Yeah, I love Pasadena. That makes no sense to me. I'm sure Denzel Washington was a PA at some point. People do progress sometimes. Hell no. Denzel Washington was never a PA. What are you talking about, Trevor? You think Denzel started as a BA? No, dude, that's crazy. No, dude. No, 100%. I would never believe that. I don't think that's true at all. I would bet money that that's not true. There's no way that that's true. No, dude. Trust me, it's a thing, dude. Like, whatever avenue you start working here, you're gonna get pulled into that avenue. You know what I mean? Now, there is one rare thing that I do know of. I don't even know how true this rumor is, but there is a rumor that De Niro was a boom operator in the sound department. That is a rumor. So, I mean, I guess, but I'm not going to buy the fucking Denzel Washington being a PA thing. Yo, what is your day rate as a DP? Yeah, I don't really have one. I always change. There's no way you're 41. For real, you old, bro. Yeah, dude. I tell you guys all the time. You think I'm joking. Yeah, dude. I'm old, bro. I'm an old man now. And so that's why That's why I got to give you guys all these words of wisdom. I got to give you my pearls, bro. Ways as things not to do, right? I can tell you what not to do and you will succeed. Trust me. I've already failed for you. I've failed for you so you don't have to. So you're welcome in advance. Oh, shit. De Niro as a boom operator is diabolical. Yeah. There's actually a picture of him, dude. I think it exists. I think there's literally a picture of him boom operating. Robert De Niro, look. Robert De Niro boom operating. I'm almost positive, dude. That's how they met him. Oh, it's a misconception. Here we go, AI. How much can we trust AI, though? It's a misconception that Robert De Niro has worked as a boom operator. The idea may stem from a series of social media posts. Nah, I've known about this for years, dude. Nah, dude, I've heard about this for years. For years, I've heard about this. Nah, I'm not, most everything I read on AI, I don't believe because I have heard of this. And honestly, the rumor, I forget what I was watching, but there is a black and white photo of someone that looks like De Niro. But the thing I watched made it seem like it was De Niro. I could have swore it was like a documentary, and he's literally boom mopping. It's an old ass black and white photo. But I don't know. Again, anything could be a rumor. Damn it, I'm 42. Yeah, well, I always like your info on gear choices. Thank you, dude. 40s Club, 44 here. Oh, shit, 40s Club, we're old men hanging out online. What has happened? Yo, digital commercial, 1 day, 10 hours, plus 2, no camera or any equipment package. What the hell would be your first number to tell to a producer? Okay, hold on. Digital commercial? A digital commercial, you mean like it's not going to stream on television? It's just for like what? Like digital commercial means anything, right? Like that's all bets are off. YouTube could play it, right? Right? Is that what it means? 1 day, 10 hours, plus 2. What do you mean 10 hours plus 2? 12 hours? What does plus 2 mean? Plus 2, no camera. I don't understand. So you don't have to bring any equipment? They just want you for 12 hours? Is that what you're saying? They want to hire you for a full 12-hour day, typical non-union day, by the way. And it's for a digital commercial? No gear whatsoever. That's what you're telling me? Trevor says he's old too. The hard take. Always liked your videos. Thank you, bro. Keep that wisdom coming. We'll pay you back net 90. Yeah, I'm expecting that shit on time. Just an old heads convention in here. Yeah, it is with my fucking Led Zeppelin shirt. That's hilarious. Yo, Diego, I want to help you out with this, bro. You got to tell me more about it, dude. Because a digital commercial, in my brain, in my little Peabody brain, I mean, that could be a lot of things. Like, what is a digital commercial? In terms of like, I should look it up on the local 600, because like, I'm not in the local 600, but I do like to kind of set my gauge for that kind of stuff. $800 day rate, no equipment in Cali probably. To be a DP, well, it kind of depends, right? Because, yeah, I mean, a commercial, I mean, what, your camera operator is going to get at least $750. You already know that. So yeah, I think 800 is a tad low, to be honest with you, because if it's a digital commercial. But here's the thing too, it's not a union thing, right? So a 750 operator rate, well, that may be right for non-union. Hold up, I have a little something we can share. Hold on, I have a little something. I didn't want to pull it up right away. Yo, Stone Fisted said he's 52, going on 53 in 2 months. Hell yeah, brother. So I'm gonna pull this up for you because I have an old rate card from Local 600. I just hold on to it. I usually get a new one every year, but sometimes they're hard to find. But I have one on here. I gotta find it. It's in my phone somewhere in here, and we can look at it because the reason why I keep it, even though like I don't work Local 600, I like to know. Like I like to have a gauge of like, okay, what's actually going on in the real world? You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, what is the fair rate here? I mean, that's one way to look at it, Damn, I didn't save it in my favorites. Oh no, we're in for trouble now, guys. It's not in my favorites. I cannot believe I did this. It's going to be on my, let's see. Diego said, in my industry, a digital commercial is the same as a TV commercial with almost the same package. Okay. No camera op, 1 AC, gaffer, 3 grip, electrics, FX3 DZO, M40 and 2400 more powerful lights. Stone, 5-ton grip package, a 5-ton G&E package, no camera op, okay, just you shooting your own thing, but you have an AC, okay. He has a gaffer, there's 3 grip electrics, yeah. So the gear's already there. You know, there's a lot that would come into play for me, because I also like to factor in, like, where is it shooting at? You know, like, is it in a location that is like less than 50 miles from your front door? Like, how far away is it from you? Like I try to, like, before I start giving a bid, I always like to I like to know as much about the project as possible, right? So I'd be like, okay, is it less than 50 miles away? And the weird thing to me though is, like, we have a first AC though. We have 3. So basically there's a gaffer and there's 3 swings. So you got a pretty decent little low budget, like, G&E crew, but the camera department's lacking a little bit in my opinion. Like, you know, like, I mean, if you can afford to have gaffer and 3 swings, so that means you have a gaffer, one of them's going to be the key grip, or at least the best boy, and then 2 swings, right? But then you only have 1 AC and you have to operate yourself, which is fine. I love to do that. A lot of people do that. But, like, normally, I mean, if I'm going to have 4 in G&E, I'd like to have at least +2 for camera department, you know? So that's another thing that I would want to know about, like, because the way I look at it too, like, I'm the type of guy where I would bid a lower rate just so I can have a second AC there. Honestly, I'm that type of dude, you know, because it just makes if it's something that's going to make my life easier, I'm willing to, like, work for a little bit less, you know. That's the type of guy I am. So there's just a lot of factors that I take into it. And also I look at this thing. So let me see if I can find it now though. Actually, I have it written down. Hold on. I was trying to show you the real document, but I have the numbers written down as well. I don't know how up to date this is. This might be last year. Okay. So top secret, by the way. No. So this is it. Let me see. Let's see if we can zoom in on this. Zoom in. Let's see if I can remember how to zoom in. Here we go. So we'll zoom way in on this. You should be able to see this, right? So, and also keep in mind, this is basically like new media rates. And so 10 hours, but yeah, 12 hours, you know, so you're going to have an hour for lunch, maybe 30 for lunch. So normally, like, this is like the lowest of the line for new media here in LA. At least last year it was. So for DPs, it's $1,200 a day. And then if there is gear, it's another $500 for the camera package. But keep in mind that camera, like, that $500 isn't added to every single day. That's for the week, right? It's like a normal rental thing. Like, they're getting that $500 for a 3-day week or whatever it is. So you're like, okay, like, or you can do it the real way and go, okay, I'm going to charge you for 3 days. But if it's a whole week, I'm only going to charge you for 3 days or whatever, like a 3-day week. But I'm the type of dude, like, for instance, like a 2-day shoot, I'm not going to charge them an extra $500 each day. I'm just going to charge them a flat $500. But that's just me. Some guys would charge an extra $500 each day, but that's up to your own shit, right? Because I have other ways that I kind of like recoup, and one of those is with gas fee, you know, like mileage. Because here in LA, getting paid mileage is very normal to do because LA is so spread out. So here we've always gone by the federal standard, and this is how I know this is last year because I believe it's gone up now. But the federal standard mileage for LA gas mileage is 67 cents on the mile. So I always factor that in too, because I just do, especially if I'm bringing a van, because I got a new van, but it's not a gaffer van anymore. It's just strictly a production van. I just call it a production van because it's mainly designed to be like a camera guy that has a couple lights that he brings with him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, these are actually the new media rates. So 1,200, that's why I say like the 800 is a little low compared to what would be the norm here in terms of like real commercial, even if it is non-union, right? And then you would notice the other rates that the rest of the people are getting, right? Operator, this was low though, and I found this out the hard way because I put in a bid that was $100 too low, and that's when they told me like, oh yeah, operators are getting $750 now. I was like, oh fuck. So that's how I know like this whole thing may need to be updated for 2025. But anyways, yeah, I don't know if you guys want to screenshot that or what, but that's yeah. So 1,200, I feel, especially for a commercial. Now, that might be, you know, depending on where you're at. I think you said Vegas, right? You're in Vegas. So I don't think that's too crazy for Vegas. I really don't. Um, we lost too much exposure here, didn't we? Let me boost this up a little bit. Yeah, we'll just put it one stop up. What did he say though? JP, put it on your calendar. We need a video on how to bid a project and determine what crew we're gonna need, etc. Well, this is kind of it. This is like my base. Like if I had it like, like Empty Lines. Empty Lines was a short film that I DP'd. It was like 3 or 4 days we were on that. It was like a decent budget for a short film. And we shared a little bit of BTS on here before. It's the one where I shoot on the red Komodo with the Ivoscope. And I had pretty much all of, well, no, I didn't have an operator. I always like to operate myself. I don't know if we had a second either. I feel like I did. I feel like I always like to have a second. Yeah, I totally did have a second because we even had a media wrangler. Like he was kind of like, I had a utility like that. Like I was a big crew for a short film, so I had almost all of these. We even had BTS. Shout out to Mickey Vision. He was there. We didn't have a gimbal tech, but I have that because sometimes people hire me to be a gimbal tech or whatever, so a gimbal guy. So, but that's a little low now. Some of these rates are low. That's how I know, like, some of these rates are a little low. This might be a little high for camera utility, but that's up to whoever, like, but anyways, so yeah, I would probably, honestly, I would submit 1,200. But just, I don't know, just see like how that goes. It depends really on the project, and Vegas, maybe that's a little high for Vegas. I don't know, but I feel like 800 is too low for having all that crew and stuff. And when you're a DP, they already bring in the gear. But what scares me is the gear. What scares me is the gear is an FX3 and a DZO. The DZO lenses, an FX3. That makes me feel like they ain't got no money anyways, So like, I feel like on that you got to kind of play it smart. Like, yeah, maybe you would bid 800, and maybe even then, maybe even like 800. I wouldn't go any lower than that though. But knowing that camera package, maybe 800, but that doesn't make sense to me. Like, how'd they get all those other positions then, So I don't know. You just kind of have to like suss that out a little bit more. I would try to find out what their budget is, because that'll always give you a good idea too, in terms of like, you can bid a percentage, that's what a lot of smart guys do. They bid a percentage on the job. I think mine was lower on budget because for like 25 to 40 day shooting, LOL discount deals. Oh, 100%. It was, in that case, it was probably a narrative thing. Narrative shit. These are not, dude, most narrative stuff, they're never going to be able to afford to give a DP 1,200, like they never would do that. So like on a lot of narrative stuff, 800 is more ideal for narrative stuff, but I'm still showing up with my gear. Because it's the narrative world. I always do that with narrative world. I always give them the gear package for free. I just always do, But on this one, this is a commercial. I don't like to be lenient with commercials and shit because like it's a commercial. They're gonna profit off it. Someone's gonna eventually profit off it. Now, is it a spec commercial? Well, that's different. Like if you're signing up to be a DP on a spec commercial, you should kind of get your fingers in there more and really be in like control of what the image is if it's a spec, right? And that's what you can do. Like if they really want you and they're like, oh, 1,200 is just too high, then I would just be like, well, tell me a number that works for your budget then. And they will tell you. And then if it's really low, like if it's under $800, I would be like, okay, so what about this? I would propose to them like, apparently this is something different and this feels like a spec commercial to me. I'm very like upfront with people and I'll be like, this feels like a spec commercial to me. Would you be willing for me to be like an associate producer on this? And I'd be willing to work for that rate that you're offering. I just would like to have more input of my own on a project that is appearing to me like a spec commercial. You know what I mean? Who cares if you offend them? Like, let people know your rate sucks, man. Like, what I mean? But you got to do it in a nice way. You got to do it in a nice way. And I think that's a very nice way of doing it, I feel bad because our company charges $2,500 for the Airy 35 kit with the Cook S4Is. Yeah, I wouldn't feel bad about that. I mean, the rental houses, prices have gone up everywhere. So it is what it is. Something that really surprised me is you have no transport. Tomorrow I have production and there's always a van that goes for me. I mean, yeah, if you're working at that level, like, are you saying like you're used to that? You're used to having a transport van come and pick you up at your house or at the hotel? Is it a thing that you had to fly out for? Because that I understand. Like, yes, like if they flew you in, yeah, they should have at least an Uber come get you, if not the transport van. But like, I've never had a transport van pick me up at my house. That's new to me. Ryan, what would you say a new director rate would be for a music video or commercial? I'm transitioning from being a DP to a director and not sure what rates I should set or what a normal rate is. Directing, dude, I don't fucking know, dude, because I feel like with directing, you might have to do a lot of shit for free. I feel like the directors, like the guys that really want to be directors, they're really the ones out there finding the DP that they just love and admire. And they're finding out a way to get hooked up with that DP, and they're just shooting spec after spec after spec after spec. That's kind of the way I see these young, newer directors working, right? They're just like putting out tons of shit, funding it themselves, figuring out a way to fund it themselves. That's what a lot of the directors seem to be doing, honestly. So I can't tell you what their rate is, because all the ones I know are just like fucking, they're just like kind of funding shit themselves because they want to put themselves on the map, you know? Because otherwise you're going to be getting a lot of jobs that are like, you know, kind of bullshit, honestly. It's just gonna be like training videos and shit. It's gonna be like a bunch of videos that you're never gonna, one, like be able to show to anybody because you're never gonna get the final product. And even when you do, you're not really gonna want it, right? Like you want cool shit, you know? Well, you're not gonna start getting cool shit right out the bat if you've never been a director before, because now the whole world knows you're a DP, right? Now, the tricky thing is here, like, are you gonna want to be your own DP? Because that can be tricky too. It can be done, but I feel like that's gonna confuse people. Because they're gonna be like, oh, now he just wants to like cut out the director. He wants to do everything himself, right? That's gonna piss people off too. So you're gonna have to find DPs that you want to work with, and I do believe that. I believe that like, if you're making the transition from cinematographer to director and you want to do it the right way, don't come in shooting your own stuff. I don't think that's a good look. Just me personally, right? Me personally, if I saw that as a producer, I'd be like, oh, now I see why he wanted to be a director. He wanted to get more money on the jobs he was shooting, right? That's the way I would view it. And I think a lot of people would view it as that. So if you want to come correct, you know, find the DP that you want to work with. And that would also help you become a better director, right? Because then you learn how to actually direct the cinematography department. You know what I mean? Beyond the actors, you know, there's a lot of shit there to think about. You know, the hardest part of directing, you know, is the puppeteering of the entire fucking set. You know what I mean? That's all on you now, you know? So I feel like if you were going to try to be one of those directors that's filming everything yourself, you're just making your life a million times harder. You can't focus on what your job is there to do, you know? I'm not saying that you were doing that. I was just saying, you know, for anyone that's thinking of doing that. Did you ever end up dumping your Milvis lenses? Oh yeah, those are long gone, bro. No, I still have the 18 mil actually. I kept the 18 mil, but mainly because no one will buy it. Justin calling it a day after 10 hours. The old bones can't hold up anymore. Yeah, dude. All right, Trevor. Yo, that's very awesome of you. Yo, in Ecuador, Airy 35 plus Cook S4s plus Teradek and monitors and every accessory is 1,800. That's a pretty good deal. I'm shooting narrative features, and trust me, bro, you make more money as DOP because it takes forever. Well, in narrative features, you make more money because you're shooting forever. Like you're just shooting forever. I never made a ton of money on feature films. Never. I've shot 3. I've shot 3 feature films. The most money I've ever made is on the commercial shit. That's from my acting days too. I think everyone knows that. Like, yeah, dude, even as an actor, like you get paid way more in commercials than you do on any feature film. I don't care what it is. That's why so many actors do commercials when they're not doing movies. They're getting fat checks because actors get residuals, right? I know the crew doesn't get that, but most of the crew that is above the line, those checks are very large on commercials. You know, they just are because the commercials have a bigger budget. But I understand what you're saying because you book more days on narrative if you're doing actual features. If you're just doing feature after feature, yeah, you're booked on a ton of days. So I guess in the long run, you end up making more money, but you have to work way more to get that money. In the commercial world, you show up one day. You know, like if like for actors, it's really butter. You could show up on one day. I could say one fucking sentence. And then for the rest of the year, you're collecting checks. Some guys, you know, you can get 65 G's off of saying one sentence if the commercial is big enough. Right. And it all comes down to how popular that commercial becomes. That's why I say, because I know so much about that world from my acting days. That's why I hate the commercial world so much. And in fact, it's the commercials that made me kind of step down from acting because I got so sick of the fucking commercials. Right. And that's kind of where all my disdain comes from it. And now, trust me, you make way more money doing commercials. you know, because it's one day. It's one day of your life, you know, even for the crew, tenfold way more money than the narrative world any day of the week. Yo, I can attest as an independent director, I'm funding my own stuff. Yeah, that is kind of what you have to do. You have to do that for a while until people start, oh shit, they're doing it. They're doing it. Slowly you start getting those budgets. Because the same thing, like I was telling the guy who wants to be, wants to, does he know if he wants to work his way up or whatever? Like, it's the same shit. You got to make your own billboard. You have to make your own billboard with anything you do, I feel like. You know, if you want to be a real freelancer, you're a business, you know? There's no more days of like putting ads in the paper. It's Instagram now, you know? It's social media. It sucks. I can attest, yeah. No, you make more money as DOP than director because you shoot and you're done. Oh, yeah, versus being a director. Yeah, most directors ain't making shit. Oh, I feel you now. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, the cinematographer makes more than the director. Yeah, well, the ones that I've worked with, the director is also the producer and the writer. You know, those are the kind of movies that I've been working on. Yo, no, I'm talking about your day rate spec being 10 hours. Oh, well, yeah, but we all know it's 12. You all know it's 12, but I always say 10 because you know, I kind of allot those 2 hours for like, trust me, I know mentally it's 12, but I mean, honestly, it should only be 10, but we all know it's 12. Yo, Quito, my city is kind of small city, 3 million. In every production, every crew person would be picked up because call time is 6 a.m. and here normal day hour is 14 hours. So I'm always picked up by a transport. Wow. Yeah, that's wild to me. They don't really do that here. No one, the only people that are getting picked up at their homes is like the actors in their private cars, you know. Maybe some big directors would get that, but even most of the shows and movies that I've been on where pretty known directors, if it's here in LA or, you know, if they live here in LA, if they didn't fly in, they're going to drive themselves, you know, in my experience. But I'm sure they could get a car if they wanted. Yeah, I guess they could. Oh, actors, haha. My brother-in-law was the lead in Blood Out, and he's made money for life for meet and greets. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. This is a whole nother world of that. Commercials are cool. Would you rate my reel? Let's see it. What do you mean would I rate your reel? You want us to roast your reel right now live? Yeah, dude, drop the link. Send me the link. You have to spell it out because the link is going to get, it's not going to allow you to drop a true link. So you have to like kind of spell it out. That's hilarious. Yeah, we'll do that. And then that'll wrap us up. I wish I could find that photo. In the meantime, that's it. It's the end of results. Nah, that's not right, dude. Robert De Niro, old photo as audio guy. Boom operator. We'll do plus boom operator. No, I probably shouldn't have put plus. I know it's in here somewhere. I've seen that photo before. I've seen this photo before. I know for a fact I've seen it. This is crazy, man. Where did I see that photo? Wow, look at Robert De Niro and his father. What? That's crazy, man. Yo, I'm also asking for favors to save money sometimes. Oh, yeah, 100%. I do that all the time, too. Everybody, you know, I owe, you know, everybody cashes in favors, certainly here, too. But, yeah, I can't find this. Man, that's a bummer, man. Robert De Niro audio boom op. If you have a company move, every crew member have to drive? No. I'm just talking about from their homes. They drive to base camp, and then from base camp, they take you wherever. I'm talking about their homes. They're not usually getting picked up at their houses. My last short had most of the crew volunteering as a favor. Wow. Now that's wild. I always feel bad about that. Like if it's just general crew, I don't know, man. I feel bad about that. Like I have to pay them something. You know what I mean? But I come from like, you know, blue collar class. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I like to give them something, you know what I mean? But I know that's more money, you know, like, man, I cannot find the fucking thing, dude. Drop your reel, dude, or reel 2025 4K on Vimeo. All right, let's check it out. Here we go. Let's go to Vimeo. He's still on Vimeo, huh? They haven't screwed you over yet? Dude, they deleted my entire fucking thing, dude. It's gone. Let's see. Yeah, Vimeo's so weird now, man. Look at all the weird stuff on here. With Game of Thrones, we had all these crazy buses every day, 15 hours leaving back and home. They took you to your house on Game of Thrones? Is that a thing they do in everywhere else. I've never heard of them like picking up the crew from their homes. That's crazy. I've never heard of that. The crew? That's wild to me. No, extras pay for it. Extra pay for it. How do you even search? Like, I don't even understand how this is. Am I on the right website? Like, what is this? What happened here? Is this what Vimeo is now? How do you search on here? This is crazy to me. No, just to the parking lot at the studio. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They pick you up at your house and take you to the studio? I've never heard of that, unless you're like an actor or a director that doesn't live in the area. I've never heard of crew getting picked up at their homes and being taken to base camp. They usually drive themselves. You got to get yourself to base camp. They can't be picking everybody else. They can't be picking everybody up every morning. That's crazy. Vimeo deleted all my videos too. Yeah, dude, why did they do that? Look how crazy this is. How do you even search on here? Like, where's the search bar? This is so different. I guess you got to go to watch. Why is it all that other shit? Here's a video. What? Wait. What was that? What was that? Weird, man. This is getting weird. This is normal Vimeo. Now it's vimeo.com/watch. Weird. Okay. All right, let's check him out. Let's see. He says Diego Leon. Let's see. Ah, Jesus. Where'd it go now? Double screen. It got pulled over. Ah, I can't get it over. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can just like, will it let me like copy and paste this? Look at that. Damn it. All right, hold on. I got to make this smaller. This is work now. Now you got me working. I have to charge for this. I'm joking. Let's see. Diego. Oh, I didn't grab it all. That's hilarious. I only grabbed a little bit of it. Okay, he's got a 4K reel on here. There is a watch button. Yeah, it never used to be like that. Laugh out loud. No, well, you drive to the studio and we would go to the location each day. I wish the road. Oh, yeah. Vimeo trying to sell all these corporate clients and not the independents. Yeah, man. Okay, here we go. 1:03. All right, doing good there. Let's see what we got. Oh, Nikes. Let's turn this off. Or should we listen to it? Yeah, we listen to music. I don't think you can get flagged. Oh, we could get flagged by the song. Okay, chicken. Okay, he's doing like big products. Got a little bit of a. Okay. Music video, car commercials. Okay. Yeah, the blend of, I think with, okay, we'll just watch it and then I'll kind of like share my 2 cents on it. Wow, that's a really nice shot right there. I like the space stuff. A lot of movement, which people like to see. Kind of documentary style stuff, and then more like big wide Chivo lens. Okay. All right. So this, don't get me wrong, I would give this a very high rating. Like, this is a really nice reel to me. The only thing that kills it for me is like I feel like, and I don't know if you did it for length, which shorter is always better. Like, don't let people lie to you or whatever. Like, the shorter a thing is, the better. It's just how it goes with all things. Certainly in Hollywood, I firmly believe that. But also, it's like, I feel like you need to like take all the commercial stuff out and let the commercial stuff be its own reel. And then your dramatic stuff will really shine a lot more. Because the commercial stuff is cool, don't get me wrong, and you have to have it, but it needs to be on its own reel. Like, that's what I think. And that's what I do. Like, the commercials are on their own reel. And especially because you have like real commercials, like, you have this Kia car commercial, you have like this ice cream shit, and then you have the makeup stuff, and then you have the chicken stuff. Like, all this shit needs to be on its own stuff because it just kind of, also it looks so different, obviously, because it's commercial, right? So it doesn't even match the vibe. It's jarring. I would have a commercial reel completely separate, and then you would have 2 little short reels. It's just better, honestly. It's going to actually be consumed more by whoever you're sending it to. And usually the goal is like you keep them wanting more. You keep them wanting to see more. Yeah, but I certainly, that's the only thing I would say. Like, split it up. get the commercial shit out of there. Then you'd have 2 badass reels, and it looks all good to me. It looks good to me. The only other thing I would say about it is like keep the shit grouped together. Like I noticed like you have her split up. So like, and also like I think the car stuff is split up. Like I would keep it all together. You know, so like whatever goes together, you want to show it all together. And also that shows to them like the scope of the project in terms of like different lighting setups or whatever, you know. Like here she's back again. Like I would clump the shit that belongs together. I would keep it together. You know, it just makes more sense. And it's just a more for me, I think it's a better representation to keep it together as well. And maybe you were trying to like match the flow of the music or whatever. Honestly, dude, no one cares about the music. Like think about like who's the goal of who we want to watch this stuff? Well, the people that are going to hire you, right? They don't care about the music, right? They're going to do what I did. They're going to mute it, right? So you don't always even have to care about matching to the music. That no one cares about that, right? Like all you want to care about is presenting like each scenario with those 3 big clips, right? Usually it's 3. Usually it all comes in 3s, right? So like this lady, like you're even missing her 3rd one, but you're not. You just put it way back here. So you put all that shit together, right? Put it all together. But now looking at that might be a commercial too, right? Was that a jewelry thing? Okay, who cares? Just cut that out. I mean, anyone can do that. Anyone can make that shot right there with all the bokeh, you know, anyone with the 85 mil. So it's like, yeah, you don't even need that. Cut that out. This is the shot, right? That's number 3 that goes to the sequence way back here. So boom, boom. Then it would be her, wherever the fuck she went. Where'd she go now? Now I can't even find her. She was in here. You get it. Right there she is, right? So just keep everything together that goes together. Keep it in 3s if you can, because it'll run smoother that way. And I think it would be badass, dude. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of cool stuff in here for sure. Yo. I haven't been on Vimeo for 8 years at least. It used to be the only place you could push high-res footage. Then YouTube just ran away with it. Yeah, in fact, YouTube now, like they actually favor 4K uploads, supposedly. I don't know if that's true. The cuts are too quick, to be honest, for a director to get a good look. Oh, I was kind of scrubbing that pretty fast. Or did you mean from the first watch? I was scrubbing it back and forth, by the way. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like the cuts are okay, honestly. Like the trio thing I don't know about, but it looks like this is the way that it was made. Like it looks like this is the commercial. So yeah, I guess it makes sense. But like I didn't feel anything too quick for me. If anything, it was the commercial shit. But commercial shit is supposed to be quick. So I think that's why it is quick. But again, the commercial shit should be on its own reel anyways. And also, I think this is your weak stuff. Like this to me felt like you have a lot of strong stuff, and then you have this old lady picking stuff out of her garden. It just looks like something that we just did, you know, like because this is like documentary stuff, you know, like documentary stuff is like super easy to do. Like seriously, right? So like I don't think this is doing you any favors, just this old lady in the garden, you know. But this shit is hot. Like this is some of the best stuff. This chick waking up, and that's a really nice sequence. She wakes up. This shot is nice, you know, cool location. You're out here. I would want to see more of this. Give us a little more of this, and then the overhead. Like, that's a killer sequence. Maybe that should be at the top, because this to me feels real. This feels to me like a real movie, like very, very Chivo inspired, you know, but it's at the very end. Most people have stopped watching at that point, you know. But again, if you get your commercial shit out of here, it'll be, you know, way at the way up here at the beginning, because you won't have as much shit being bogged down by the commercial stuff. So yeah, if anything was too quick, it's all the commercial stuff, but that's just the nature of commercials. That's why it just needs to be on its own reel, you know? I don't know. You don't have to take away grandma, but yeah, keep her at the end, but don't put her before this. You know, this blows the grandma away, dude. You know what I mean? Grandma should be at the end if you want to keep her, you know, but also she's getting a little crooked there. Like, you know, right here, like our world is crooked, you know, so I don't know if it's worth it to you to keep her in there, you know? Nice stuff. Yeah, it is a really nice reel though, overall. Yeah. The car commercial stuff was fire. That's your bucket. Yeah. I mean, and also that's IKEA. So that's the real deal, you know, IKEA. But again, I think it should be on its own reel, and you should start with it. And you started to do it with this one. Like you started with the car stuff. The space stuff was cool, but then it turned into like half narrative shit. Or is all this commercials? Do some of your commercials just look super narrative? If that's the case, I would still want it to be 2 different reels, you know? I feel like if all of this is commercials, which is possible nowadays, right? Commercials are getting wild nowadays. I still feel like some of this is like high polished commercial shit, like your car stuff. You know, even this kid singing, I put him with the high polished shit. And then like the bioderma, definitely that, and the chicken shit. I would have all that kind of high key stuff. I'd have all that on its own. I would just call it like high key commercial reel or whatever you want to call it, you know, like I would put all that on its own because it's just so jarring from the rest of your cool kind of, you know, vibe you got going on with everything else, you know. I don't know. That's up to you though. But at least, but if you don't want to make two separate reels, I would at least clump the shit together that belongs together. You know, because then we got Space Guy down here. It's like, well, fuck, we forgot about Space Guy. Space Guy was way up here at the beginning. And now again, it's like that was the third sequence, unless the car thing is his too, but that feels so out of place. Like you don't want any sequence by itself. The car thing like feels, if it was part of the space thing, I would include what part of the commercial where we make that connection at. But it feels like it's two separate projects. So if that's the case, then give me the other sequence of this car thing. But yeah, I don't know about all this splitting up. Where'd our little Space Guy go? So you have the threes, they're just kind of split up. But yeah, that's what I would say. Note to self, can the old lady, sorry, grandma. That's hilarious. Yeah, but either way, yeah, solid stuff, man. Really nice stuff. You got, what's nice about this reel is that it shows a really big, broad range, you know, and that is nice to have. But I feel like if you're a commercial guy, you're really only going to want to see this, you know, depending on what they're making or, you know, what they're hiring you for. You know, your ice cream guy, I don't know if he's going to be into like this other like crazy shit, like for instance, this stuff at the end, or like, you know, like maybe this weird stuff with the guy that was doing the worm on the ground and all this stuff. Like, I don't know, he's doing push-ups, but you know what I mean? Like, it's so different from some of this other stuff where I just would separate the high key from the low key, or at least kind of clump it all together. Even if here's what you could do too. If you really want to keep the range showing, clump all, but that's the downside too, because if you clump it together and you're submitting for another, you know, high key thing, they're going to be like, what is all this stuff at the beginning? They're going to click off. That's why I say it's almost best to have two separate reels, you know? Like you can have like a moody one and then high key. Yo, geez, watching this makes me feel like I got to start putting in the work. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's doing the deal. 100%. Nice stuff. That was cool too. Thanks for submitting that. That was fun. That was good for everyone to see. Anyways, we'll cut it there, guys.